Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video we're going through the Sydney vs Collingwood game, in which Sydney came out winners by 3 points, 89-86, in a game that they probably, on merit of how well they played for periods of the game, probably didn't deserve to win it. Collingwood played better for probably 2.5, 3 quarters out of the game, but Sydney just played Sydney's way, and if they play well for a quarter and a half, they can blow a game open that quickly that they can win a game. I mean, they played well for basically 10 minutes in the last quarter and about, probably 5 minutes in the first and about 5 minutes in the second. So they probably only played absolutely perfectly for like 20 minutes, but they just won the game off the back of that 20 minutes in different spells. And Collingwood just weren't able to take advantage of a lot of chances. And I think that was a common theme throughout the weekend. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw, because we've had 6 games decided by 40 points overall in total. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see the teams that are the sharpshooter teams lose every single one of those games. You got Gold Coast won against Essendon when Essendon were the sharpshooter. Only Port Adelaide, I think, is the only game where the team just with a magnitude of shots won. Okay, I guess Geelong as well, the same. Eagles, same amount of shots, just one more goal kick, so I guess you could say that. Giants, same thing applies. So yeah, 4 out of the 6 games were decided on the team shooting more efficiently than the other, and 2 of them were just bulk. 2 of them were just the other team shooting more. But I guess the Port Adelaide game wasn't too much better. So anyway, let's just jump into this video. I'm trying to make these quick anyway. So Isaac Kenny just turned up for the last quarter and went absolutely nuts. 14 disposals, I think 2 marks, 2 tackles, and a goal in the last quarter, something along those lines. It was 60 fantasy points in the quarter, and he vaults himself back up into contention for top of the line in the forward line. I'm pretty sure now, if we look at the forward line, I'm pretty sure he's back with Flanders and also Zorko failing. If we look at the forward line, I'm pretty sure he's back near enough the top, but I don't think he's exactly at the top for the average. He's at 105.5, Flanders 108.3, and Zorko 110.8. And yeah, so he is a little bit off the pace. And yeah, what's that? A good 200 points off Zorko with 1 less game. So he's about, I would say, 90 points off Zorko, give or take. 110 points off Zorko with 2 games to play. So I don't think he'll catch up to Zorko unless he has 2 games like this and Zorko has 2 more 80 games. But Isaac could do that because they've got Essendon, which are actually I'm pretty sure pretty kind schedule. But anyway, he just put the team on his back type of performance. We've seen this by Bont, we've seen this by Dacos, we've seen it by Cripps, we've seen it by Merritt. When the going gets tough, a lot of these guys have 60-point last quarters to literally will their team on, and he did that. Blakey, 54. He was Warner, sorry. A lot of Swans fans were pretty disappointed with him in the first couple of quarters. He was just a little bit fumbly, just wanted a lot of hospital handballs, but then in the last quarter, he just found his mojo, and he just went on, and he found a way to break the lines a lot better than he was in the first couple of terms. And I mean, no fancy relevance, but it was just him getting back to his best, which I think is a good thing for the finals, to be honest with you, because you do want to see finals where you have Sydney, Brisbane, GWS, Port, Carlton, even if Hawthorn get there, Fremantle, Geelong, you want all those teams playing at their best, GWS included as well. You want 6, 7 teams playing at their best. You don't just want like 1 or 2 teams playing at their best, steamrolling everyone. So I really do want to see Sydney get back to their best just because of a fan perspective, but I don't want to see sort of just one team just dominate the whole final series. And yeah, Roberts, and this is the reason with Roberts, is when Sydney play well, he actually doesn't score terribly well. But when Sydney play absolutely atrocious footy, he scores really well. So that's the problem with him, because you can see here, Sydney played atrocious footy. And you see here, they played really well to the start this game. For the first 8 or so minutes. Let me check when the Elliott goal was. Elliot goal was 14 minutes in, and he'd actually started to really pick it up there. Was that 14 minutes in? Let me just check when Crisp scored that goal. Was it 13? Okay. So he had picked up his scoring to a limited degree, Roberts. But, even in this portion here, in the first sort of 10, 11 minutes, he had scored 11 points in 11 minutes. He was scoring all right, but he wasn't scoring outlandish. And then he just goes off and then goes off again. And then in the arm wrestle here, doesn't score the best. But then in the last quarter, really doesn't score well because the ball isn't in his hands. It's in the actual line breaker's hands in Warner and Blakey. Blakey, as you see here, did horrifically when they were playing really poorly. Did all right in the third quarter. He was just taking intercept after intercept, it felt like. And then in the last quarter as well. Probably was unlucky that in the third quarter, this one from Mason Cox, even though it turned into a 7-point play, it should have been a 50-metre penalty as per the rules. But anyway, doesn't matter. We take the extra point we gain from it. Brody Grundy, I've just stuffed up. I haven't been able to call the rucks this year, and I continue to stuff it up, as you'll see with Tristan Cherry. Most likely, unless Rowan Marshall goes 170 on Nank, which I don't think will happen. I've just not got a right call on the rucks this year. Put my hand up there. That's just been what's happened. Brody Grundy, a bad call back then when I brought him in, I think in here or something. And it's just not going right. Anyway, could have easily brought in Cherry anywhere in this run, and he would have been a lot better than Grundy. But we move on to next year. Hayward, one of the better Swans, but just not fantasy relevant. Rowbottom, he did a lot of his work in the first and then sort of teetered out. But he sort of held the Swans together, to be honest with you, in the first and second quarter. And then when the Swans got on top, Rowbottom isn't really used as much like Roberts. Lloyd, I think he's finally showing that it's time for him to probably be moved on. Goulden, he just did nothing, the VC, and just hope Marshall can pick up the slack that Goulden left, as he just got a lesson by Sidebottom. As simple as that. Sidebottom tagged him, and he came up when needed in the last quarter with a 21-point last quarter, including a huge sort of last 20 minutes with 18 points. But it just predicated, his whole game was just based off that one goal. Other than that, he did nothing. Parker, 64, thought he was huge in the last quarter when he got chucked in the middle, but also in the first and second quarter, just being that forward. And he just, instead of applying this phantom pressure that Wicks applies, he actually applies goal pressure. But I still wouldn't be selecting him just because, he got chucked in the middle and that's where all his scoring went. You wouldn't be selecting a guy off the back of this, especially when he's going to have probably forward status, but he's going to be like a forward. That's the reason why, because they're going to have Sheldrick in there instead of Parker, I would suspect, because Parker can take marks and kick goals. So I don't think it's hard for him to get a shift into the forward status to then actually be valuable, if that makes sense. Cunningham, Campbell, Florent, McLean, Marty, Jordan, none of these guys actually matter. I don't think Mills will matter either as well. I think he got shifted back, so I don't actually think he'll get forward status anymore. And I think he looks a lot better in that back role. He did nothing in the third quarter, but I just think he looks a lot better, more suited in that fourth, fifth tall type of area, as it just gives the Swans more height, more grittiness down back. And I think he can score back down there, but he's going to be priced so high that it's not going to matter for fantasy relevance. Cameron, 108, he's been an amazing ruck, and really wish the Swans hadn't got rid of him when the Swans with rucks, they select a good ruck, they know how to draft a good ruck, they don't know how to actually play to sort of develop and play a good ruck, it seems. Darcy Cameron, an absolute, he's just a great player. And Josh Dacos, I thought he was a little bit woeful with his ball use, but that is what it is. 98 for him. Watch me saying that he probably had a really good rating game. Let me just I can easily probably check through. Let me just check through the AFL app to see how his game was. 1 second here. Sidebottom, he absolutely trounced Gordon. We'll just talk through that when I'm getting these stats up. But yeah, he just taught Gordon a lesson. Josh Dacos, 4 turnovers, 77. So it wasn't the worst game from him, to be honest. But yeah, Sidebottom taught Gordon a lesson, but he did go a little bit missing in the last quarter, and that's when Gordon sort of got a little bit on top, you would say. Gordon was key in the key moments, and Sidebottom did miss 2 shots there at goal. Crisp got the goal that sort of shifted the momentum, I would say, as the Swans dominated the first 12 or so minutes, and his goal shifted the momentum back, and Collingwood didn't really look back until about the 15-minute mark of the last quarter. Penalty by Tell, McStay. Nick Dacos got absolutely locked. He had a 2.4 rated game, one of the worst players on the ground. And yeah, he just had, I think, 9 clangers, 8 turnovers, couldn't use it by foot, 25 touches, and he ended up with a 71. So yeah, who would have thought that bringing in Nick Newman for Nick Dacos was the right decision now, looking back on it? It's hard when you have someone like a Nick Dacos who he has the tag. He's going to get tags, but he also has the ability to break tags. He's gone 122 in tags, but he also has the ability to go like 60s and 70s in tags. So it's just hard to let go of a guy like Dacos because he can be so damaging. But also in hindsight, when you do it, like we saw, I'm pretty sure someone, people would have done it for this run here. People would have, where was it? Or was it here? There was some run here where some people got off Dacos and they thought it was a really good decision, and then he comes back and goes bang, 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 and then you don't look he went 92 in the tag last week, so it was like, it's not even that bad. So yeah, it's just the decision there. Cox, Quaynor, McQuarrie, literally none of these guys matter. And Joe Richards could be an interesting one next year, given that he got a 0, and I don't know what exactly. He came on for 45 seconds, touched the ball once, and guided it over the boundary line. That was all that he did. But that could be an interesting one if he is priced, because I'm pretty sure, does he have a couple of sub games in there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. So 7 times 56 is 350, 392 divided by 8. That is 49, so he'll be priced 7 lower based on that 0 that he gets here. And if he doesn't play again, then he'll have a little bit of a discount. So he could be priced at like 45 based on that. But yeah, I just don't think he'll be fantasy relevant now, given that he's priced at 49. There's probably a reason why that is, even though he did have this 94 here pre-injury. Just that role is very up and down, etc. And he's not exactly in the Pies best 22 as of yet. But anyway, that is the video. The Sydney Swans get over the line. Can this be a Kickstarter for their finals campaign? We don't know. But I'm hoping it is. And I guess they finally locked themselves into finals campaign. But if you did enjoy that video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on, especially with the AFLW season only 17 days away. There will be more content about just team reveals. I probably won't do what I do with all my other ones with the AFL men's and the BBL, where I do like best of each line. I won't do that in the women's, just because I'm trying to come back from a big knowledge gap, and I probably will not have done that quick enough to actually get up to speed. But anyway, there will just be, I think, team reveals for the women's, and we'll go from there. But anyway, that's the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.